Live from behind Mel's Tacos in Los Angeles, California, this is the Master of Unlocking E3 2018 podcast. You will hear our reactions to the press conferences, interviews with developers, and much, much more. And now for the show! Interviews with developers from not yet because we're not really in California. Now get ready for Caleb, Jason, and Logan!
Ugh. Oh,
that's your reaction?
That's my reaction. I'm thinking I'm tired. You know, we've been hauling all this equipment around all day. It's hot.
What a rough day.
Just want to have a taco. And all right, I'm gonna have the Logan special. What will you have over there, Jason?
I'll have a couple of sizzling sausages.
Okay, that sounds good.
I also want the Logan special.
Okay. Yeah, you may not want that later.
Once you find out what it is.
Sadly, it involves a lifelong affliction with hemorrhoids, so I maybe not want
Yay!
Let me go with the sizzling. No, that sounds even worse.
The sizzling sausage. It might lead you down that same path.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just got back from the Sony presser. And boy,
we were in that church, and then they moved us to that other auditorium.
Really inconvenient.
That was like a 20-minute walk of shame. I mean, some call it the Trail of Tears. It was.
They literally put us in helicopters to take us to the other venue. It was weird,
and everything was in slow motion. It was odd.
Yeah,
it was super weird. We didn't get a chance to talk about Ubi because we had dinner.
Right.
And stuff. And so let's talk about Ubi real quick. I think the star of E3 is the Dancing Panda.
Oh, of course.
That kicked off. That was, I was rather sad he didn't come out at the end with the rest of the Ubisoft people, unless he came out, not in character, quote unquote. But
I really hope you have notes of all the things that Ubi had.
I did.
Okay, good.
I took some good notes.
Because at this point, everything is just blurring together.
I know.
Me, yeah.
So Just Dance, the annual release, and I think we're done there.
That was fun.
That
was fun. It was a neat way for them to start their show.
That was a good Ubi way to start. Then they just jumped right into it with Beyond Good and Evil 2. And did they? Well, I mean they ended their stuff. Yeah, they ended their conference last year with it, and then opened with it this year. So
more cinematic stuff.
There was a little bit of gameplay in there
with the tiny screen.
Right.
They wouldn't show us the full screen of it. So
did they say is that something they said they're going to show behind closed doors?
Oh, I have no idea.
I believe they said that they were going to be showing it behind closed doors. I don't know. I'll have to check our appointment list.
I don't have an appointment.
You don't have the appointment with them? I don't think I do either. So I think we're good.
No, I decided to go to Mel's again.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They said Beyond Good and Evil 2 or Mel's Tacos. And I said, well, what are you making that day?
We kind of have a sponsorship deal.
And they said chorizo, and I said, no thanks, BGE 2. Right. Jordan Gordon-Levitt walked out.
He did.
Still super handsome.
He so is. And he's...
Suave guy.
Yeah.
What was the name of that thing? Record what?
Record something. Yeah, record it. I think it was just like record it. And so, yeah, they're crowdsourcing the music for that.
All sorts of creative.
And art and stuff.
Music.
I don't know.
But
I don't know how that works.
Yeah, and he even talked about how he's already got like a good amount of money set up for it to pay artists with it later. I think it was kind of odd. It was a weird, interesting business model for it. But yeah, I guess it said for Beyond Good and Evil, I'm not sure what else there is to say at this point other than sure, that thing is going to happen one of these days. 2020 maybe. 2021, maybe.
We'll see.
Yeah. It could be.
It looks like it's a ways away.
There were two things that happened as far as release dates go at E3 this year. It was either coming 2019.
Hit record. Sorry.
Hit record.
Hit record.
It was either coming in 2019, probably in February, or no date at all.
Yeah.
There was nothing else.
Exactly.
There was one game I feel like was spring 2019.
There were a lot of spring 2019, February 2019, but nothing other than there was a couple of 2018s also, but
not much.
Nobody said 2020 on anything.
No, I don't think I saw that.
That we know of.
I don't remember. Yeah.
So that's
still
the
one more conference tomorrow.
The implication of 2020, right?
Next we have just some updates to Rainbow Six Siege. I don't know if we even have anything to say
Good
about
for them.
that. Good for them. That game's still going.
100 operators. Congratulations.
Yep. Then we ended up with Trials, a new Trials game that had something else to it. It's Trials something, and then I forgot what it was.
Trials. I can't remember. Uprising?
No.
I wasn't really paying attention. I zoned out at that point.
It looked fun.
No.
I don't play Trials games, but it looked fun.
But, yeah, then after that, we got some more Division 2 stuff. That game looks nice. I will say that. Yeah. Maybe I'll try a co-op this time. Maybe we should try that co-op this go around. If there's nothing else out in 2019, I don't know.
Yeah, if there's some time.
If literally everything else gets delayed, then
because that's one thing that actually has a date for 2019. Yeah. It's March 15th.
Trials Rising.
Trials Rising.
Not Uprising.
Right. Mm-hmm. Dead Rising.
That game has a certain style and aesthetic, and stuff's blowing up, and they're doing the whole ragdoll thing, which is funny.
I laughed a few times during that trailer. Yeah. Like it made there were times when his head, just went flat up against something.
Wrecking ball.
Yeah, right. That made me laugh. Yeah. Then we went right into the Mario Cross Rabbids Donkey Kong expansion.
Sure, I liked that game a lot, but I don't think I need more of that game.
You done?
I'm done with it.
Okay.
It's cool, but I don't know. I had my fill.
Yeah. Then we got into Skull and Bones.
Skull and Bones might be one of the biggest surprises of E3 for me because I didn't, for whatever reason in my head, I thought, oh, this is a multiplayer thing and it's just people shooting each other's ships. But that looked like it was kind of story campaign mode type stuff, right?
Yeah, I think so.
It looked like it too, and I think that was it. At the same time with Sea of Thieves, everybody thought, I think we lumped it into that category. Maybe. And Sea of Thieves is definitely not for me, but Skull and Bones might be.
I know, that looks cool.
They showed the customization stuff and like the loadouts for your ship. And
when they were doing the figureheads, that looked really cool.
Yeah, it looked cool. And it reminded me basically like a Watch Dogs demo. Not demo, sorry, a Watch Dogs like gear select or something like that, like a weapon shop or a clothes shop or upgrading your stuff. Like that looked like a Watch Dogs screen to me. I don't know. I think that game looks beautiful too.
I thought it was going to be just like, oh, here's the stuff that we did in Black Flag, and we're just going to throw it in a game, and it's much more in depth than I thought it would be. And I
could be into that. Like if it's a bunch of like underworld pirate betrayals and like if it's basically like what's that show on Stars? I don't know.
Black Sail.
Stars. Like Stars isn't a real network.
No, it's not.
But Black Sail, like something like
that. We just lost our sponsorship with Stars.
Because we were going to get that Spartacus Blood in the Sand money. Is that what that game? Is that what that show is?
That was a long time ago, I think. But yeah,
I don't know. It was like was it Blood in the Sand or
no? That was 50 Cent.
Blood in the Sand. Okay,
yeah. Spartacus was something about
American Gods is gonna get us that money.
Is that show going to come back?
Yeah. It has a season 2 coming.
Wow.
But anyway.
Carry on.
Okay. Anyway. So yeah. Then we had the weird Elijah Wood joint, that Transference VR thing. I think we all half fell
unsettling in a way.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure at one point we all half fell asleep during that. That was if that tells you anything. And then we got really confused at Starlink. That was still a thing. That's the toy spaceship game, Toys to Life spaceship game. But then they totally redeemed themselves with the Switch exclusive Star Fox.
What I don't understand though is that Toys to Life? Like, is the ship required? Do you have to have that stuff?
Yes, they showed you taking pieces off of the ship and like you'd replace it with different types of components of weapons. So it's almost like a Lego thing. Like it's not fully Lego, but it's got different parts, and that's how you would do it.
That's okay.
I didn't say it's good, but I mean the fact that they look like the stuff they showed of the Star Fox pieces looked like, hey, like that's a Star Fox game I might be interested in.
I think one of the big takeaways that I got from E3 this year, especially with all the 2019 releases, is like now it's a good time to start getting picky on video games.
Yeah.
Where I need to start saying, that's just not going to be for me. I'm just going to skip it entirely.
I would maybe only play it on the Switch, but the only thing is I don't know if I want to buy it, and I think you have to buy it to play it. I mean, if this is going to be
Is he okay? Did you hear that?
At some point you have to say, well, you know what happened? The Best Buy program.
Is that what it was?
He was working that Best Buy program, and now that they don't have that Gamers Unlocked
Are you
thing.
feeling all right?
No,
I'm just tired.
No, it's a good
Are
thing.
you hungry?
Can
I get you a snack?
Jason, this is a good thing. And what I mean by that is something in the past, like Starlink, if I would have heard somebody say, yeah, hey, I'm really excited about Starlink, I'd have been like, okay, yeah, I'll check it out because you're excited about this.
Okay.
And now, since I'm not excited about it,
You're not going to force yourself academically to do something that you don't want to do.
Because I don't need to. There's so much other stuff out there.
You know what else happened? He started watching anime.
That's true. That's true. Just going full weeb. That's all.
It's always anime's
It's
fault.
always
Yeah,
anime's
always
fault.
anime's
Yeah.
fault.
So that's what happened. Okay.
Bought this body pillow, and let me tell you, it just changed my life.
That's good. Did it come vacuum sealed and like did you expand it out as you opened it up? Oh jeez.
What's next?
Oh,
Nothing.
The not cool For Honor guy came out and announced that For Honor's free, and then they're
only temporarily.
Temporarily, and then there's a paid expansion.
Yeah, it's a
Can you buy the full
temporary?
Can you buy the full version and keep the full version, or will it ping a server and be like, "Nah, you don't own this, bro"?
That I don't know.
I don't know how it works. I just saw that the standard, what was it? They call it starter edition.
Starter edition now
is temporarily free.
Okay.
So maybe if you add it to your account now, it'll just stay free.
I think it was June 11th through the 17th or 18th or something like that.
So if you have any interest in For Honor, do that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I do not.
I'm good.
So
I'm good.
Yeah.
That game is for someone.
And see, that's exactly what I was talking about. Last year, I tried For Honor, even though I knew it wasn't going to be for me.
Really?
And then I bounced off of it immediately because it's not for me. But I tried it. And now I'm like rethinking that in my head. Like, maybe I should have just skipped that.
There might be cases where we may be even more interested in things than you are, and we can just report back.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Sure.
Because I would have played For Honor. I would have tried it anyway, but it's...
For Honor.
Yeah, that guy. I miss him with his cane.
Yeah, that's...
I hope he's okay. You think he died in like a bloody werewolf battle?
If that should have been how he died.
Ow.
I can't imagine him going any other way.
His hair was perfect.
He was doing the werewolf expansion in Elder Scrolls Online. That's
okay.
where he's at.
Good for him.
The Crew 2, sure, that's a racing game people might play because every other racing game that's not Forza Horizon probably sucks.
Very little time on that, right?
They did, yeah.
I think we should as well.
I think so too. And then we'll spend a good amount of time now talking about Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Which
why would we talk about that?
The only reason we would talk about it is because one of the few games that's actually coming out in 2018. That would be October 4th, to be specific.
I am very much looking forward to that.
So we're less than a year between October, because it was like late October.
It was like late November, wasn't it? No, it was late October.
It was late October for Assassin's Creed Origins, and now here we are with Odyssey, which is basically a Greek skin of Origins, which I don't know if anybody's complaining about. Yeah. Because all the systems and mechanics look the same, but so did everything between Assassin's Creed 2 and Brotherhood and what was the other one?
Revelations,
yeah. Like, those all...
They would have to do something really terrible to get me to stop playing Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah. This one looks, for whatever reason, and it's probably going to catch heat for being the same game, more or less. But it just looks very refined and exquisite, and I'm into that. I'm into Assassin's Creed games. I like them a lot, and I think that as long as they continue to have such a high production bar and are fun to play, you can't lose me. You really can't. Even if their modern day narrative is convoluted still and hard to follow and understand because nobody cares, but everything I saw today was like visually stunning. The combat looked great. A nice long look at it. The characters talking back and forth. There is some looks like there's some romance stuff in there that's new. Some dialogue option stuff that's new. Maybe some story decision shifting.
Yeah. 2 playable characters.
Yeah.
A male and a female.
Yeah, that's an interesting choice. I am curious. Like I mentioned when we were talking about, I can't play it twice. So I hope that it's more or less the same game for both.
I would think that it's probably going to be more or less the same game,
You're
especially
probably more
when
optimistic about that than I am.
based on the fact that the romance options went both ways.
Okay.
I'm gonna assume that the game is probably just you can either play as Cassandra or whatever the guy's name was.
Not Bayek.
Not Bayek, yeah.
That was his name. Not Bayek.
Not Bayek, okay. Not Bayek. So, okay.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a ton more to say about Assassin's Creed. I just know I'm really looking forward to playing.
Yeah, I think it looks nice. I just hope they keep it decently grounded and don't go Greek mythology.
There was a
Minotaur.
Yeah, at the very end, right? There was that weird creature.
Assassin's Creed has always kept itself semi-grounded.
Origins did not.
Origins did
there
not?
was a lot of supernatural stuff.
Okay, I didn't go very deep. I went about 8 hours into Origins and then I stopped. Oh my god, you broke the dumpster.
Mel's gonna kill you.
Mel is pissed.
Sorry, Mel.
He gives us this back room
He's
out of the
gonna
goodness
yell
of
at
his
me.
heart.
Will you record it?
It's not even really a back
maybe we
room.
should.
It's like the back part of the truck. It's weird. Like there's a stove right next to me that
It's
he
a
keeps.
room.
Yeah.
It's close enough.
It's also human body parts hanging from the ceiling,
it's-
but no one's
That's what
complaining.
makes it taste so good. Anything else with Ubi before we call it a day on Ubisoft?
I'm really hyped about Assassin's Creed.
Yeah,
I'm excited to play a game this year. It looks good.
good showing from the.
I think they had a good conference. That was pretty good. So
Yeah.
good for them.
Wasn't too long.
On to Sony. What the fuck? That was. I don't know what their new obsession is with the musical interlude
Yeah,
to everything. It's unnecessary and doesn't really. I don't think it adds anything. I mean, I get that they're trying to set this ambiance, but at the same time, they go on way too long.
I don't want to. I'm trying to figure out a way to phrase this, but I'm trying not to be too hard on Sony because I am genuinely interested in the games that they showed.
I am as well, but this for whatever reason irritated me.
The actual format of their show was awful.
Yes,
Like they moved everyone and made everyone streaming wait for like 20 minutes, and then they had these long musical numbers. Maybe they were concerned that they couldn't be under an hour. Maybe that they thought that would look bad, but
and there was nothing in between either. That interview with Sean Layden was this very just who gives a shit.
well, at the very end, I'm not getting ahead of myself, but at the very end, they went back to the talking heads at the table, and then showed another trailer after that.
Yeah,
Like, why didn't they show that trailer during the part where we were waiting for everyone to move? I don't know. I don't understand that at all.
and they're currently showing more games that were not announced. Like they're showing a whole VR showcase right now
Weird.
on the stream. They just
Very
showed
weird.
They just showed Super Hot, which has not been on PlayStation VR.
is that what that was?
They just showed Creed, which is a new game for PlayStation VR. It's a boxing simulator. Like
That stuff can't, unless they montage it, but they made a commitment that they were going to go big on their big titles. So.
Yeah.
But I get that, but take that 20-minute interlude and do that. That's what seems odd to me. So
I'm curious to hear from people that I'm going to give us away. I want to know what people think of it that were at that event.
yeah,
I mean, we were too, obviously.
obviously.
But
I was very
I want to-
inconvenienced.
yeah. I want to know what that was like. Because that seems very weird.
And I have a cut like on the side of the inside of my mouth, my cheek, and it's Sony's fault.
I mean, in all reality, it was only a 50-foot walk, but it was still just getting everybody up and out of their seats. There was standing room only in that place. It didn't. I mean, we were just going from parking lot to the parking lot.
Then we stopped to play Pig on the way.
Which was just, well, I mean, you have a basketball hoop there. What do you expect?
What were we going to do?
Anyway, the bit is over. Let's move on.
All right. Anyway, so Last of Us 2. That I'm still confused a little bit on that. What they're going for. Is it because they show this like relationship thing and then
So Ellie's all grown up.
yeah.
Well, kind of.
Ish. She's dancing with a girl. They kiss.
And then it cuts to them.
And it cuts to her murdering someone.
Brutally murdering people.
Yeah, where she murders someone, and then multiple sequences of her murdering people.
Like intestines falling out of a gut.
All very like visceral, but like visceral grounded, like rendered like in a very human way and not sensationalized.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously like gross, but
I mean, I guess that's not why I like The Last of Us, but
I like The Last of Us because of the first part. The story.
Yeah. So if that's a vessel to get us to the next story beat, then I guess I'm okay with that. But it was a little bit gore porny, I guess.
I think the other thing when they went into that supermarket or whatever that store was, and there was the 4 people in there with her, and the guy, like you were clearly controlling Ellie, and then you attack the guy, and then he throws you up and over this glass plate thing. Everything after that sequence felt like it was forced. Like it was not
maybe
like that, but at the same time you were controlling her up until that. But then it was kind of like you went around that, and then all of a sudden you went and squeezed through this weird little area, this like these 2 shelving units, and then you came up behind him, and then it just seemed like that fight sequence that you had with him didn't seem like it was an actual interaction. Like it seemed like that was a cutscene.
I don't know. I want to give them the benefit of the doubt on that.
I do too.
You may be right. I'm not sure.
But then it cuts. Then as soon as that's over with, after you beat that guy, then it actually is a cutscene. Like that's definitely a cutscene. So that really makes me wonder how much of that game is maybe QTE versus.
There's even a QTE in the trailer with where she's on the ground and the guy's leaping on top of her.
Right, and you press like square or whatever to get him off. But you didn't see that part in that section, which just threw me off because it's like, where do you decide where that is? I don't know. I'm not sure how that game flows and functions.
If they do figure out a way, like you said, benefit of the doubt, if they do figure out a way to make that dynamic, and it doesn't happen the same way all the time for everybody, but if you're in a certain position, the way that like Doom figured out environmental wall kills, stuff like that, and if they're able to process that stuff on the fly, then they might have, Naughty Dog may have done something new.
Yeah.
Like, and it's rare now, especially with such high fidelity product. If they do that, like, remember the Division close the door thing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well, we were a generation behind then. So, like, that kind of stuff, like, really... So, this could be the closing door, Division cop car door of E3, like that glass shattering moment. And if it does turn out to be dynamic that way, then they've really done something gameplay-wise.
Yeah.
Like,
and, I mean, that's not totally unprecedented either. Like, Resident Evil 7 did a little bit of that, too.
Yeah.
Where it was, like, context-sensitive... Jack would do things to you depending on where you were in the environment and stuff. So
during that trailer, there was a time where she got knocked into a side of a car, and like just the way that her physics didn't just like wasn't just a normal physics. Like there was a kind of a weird jolt off of the car, like you would actually do if you hit that car.
The animations are incredible.
They are, and that's what I'm just curious. Like, is that really how it's going to flow? Because if it is, that's incredible.
I'm stunned by how far ahead they are in facial capture and like actually making it look like a character is talking. Everyone else, you can tell it's a video game, obviously. And with Naughty Dog, it's like, is that a person? Like, if the graphics were just like a little sharper, you might just think that that's a person.
I'm still not sure who's wagging the tail of hardware. Is it Naughty Dog or is it Sony?
Right.
It really makes you wonder. Yeah. Like that thing is everything that Naughty Dog does for that platform pushes it to the nth degree and is at least 2 or 3 steps above everything else. So it's just.
I will say that Detroit.
That's true.
I do think Detroit's right there.
Yeah.
And I think that The Order is right there as well, even at its age.
I'd have to go back and look at
what
The
studio
Order.
was The Order? Is that
isn't
Japan
it?
studio?
Ready at Dawn.
I think it was a Sony studio, wasn't it?
Was it? No, I don't remember now. It was the Coalition.
Oh yeah.
No, was it cool? No, the Coalition's.
No.
That's
No, it
that's
was
Xbox.
the something.
All right.
Right?
We'll look it up. Either way,
But anyway, yeah, in close like Sony exclusives, like I think
they're always
there's few.
a step above, and it's, I mean, and what Sucker Punch has been there as well. I mean, I think even when Infamous came out for the PS4 right
Ready
away.
at Dawn.
Ready at Dawn. I had it right the first time.
Mm-hmm. Santa Monica.
Oh, their Santa Monica joint. That makes sense. Either way, we have no time frame on that. There was absolutely nothing at the end of that. So, so then we got into the one interlude thing they did do was Call of Duty. They did talk about that. They talked about.
I would actually be okay with that, but Call of Duty this year has no single player campaign, so I'm just completely
out of it. And if zombies is your thing, sure, whatever.
Go for it. Then I'm just not your target audience.
Nope.
So.
Yeah, and if you're if you're listening to this, you've been listening to us, and you know that that's just not our thing. Is to play one single multiplayer game forever. So. They also talked about Tetris. They talked about Days Gone, which is February 22nd of 19, which seems odd that, I guess at the same time, like that game, it has a release date and is coming up at some point, but yet they didn't really hit on it that much here.
Well,
which I don't know.
I think they were trying to avoid the criticism because they've shown it at the past 2 E3s. So I think if they showed it at a third E3, people would have a negative reaction.
That's
to
fair.
That. So I think that's why they got it out ahead of time and just didn't concentrate on it.
I think that's fair.
Right.
Probably smart.
So,
yeah. 2 E3s or 3 E3s? It's either in a 2 or 3. I can't remember.
I think this would have been its third.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it would have been its third
Yeah.
because the first E3 they showed it was like, oh, here, look at all these zombies running up this thing,
like
and
the
then
flood.
and then the next E3 it was like, oh yeah, this looks like The Last of Us now.
Yeah.
Like, wait a minute, what the hell? What happened to that game with the thousands of zombies that were running at you?
Right.
So I think that game took a interesting turn. They also showed Twin Mirror, which is the other Don't Nod joint.
They just kind of did a quick montage of all their announcements. So
Yeah.
I think you might actually been in the bathroom at that point.
I went
but
up
they
to-
just kind of reiterated the 5 announcements or whatever that they did throughout the week. They didn't say anything new about them or anything.
No.
But
So just showed the Twin Mirror trailer, which sure. They hit on some Destiny 2 DLC. I don't care. Nobody in this room cares about that. Then we got into Ghost of Tsushima or Sashimi.
That might be-
Tsushima.
that might be the most excited of all the games that I've seen today.
Of
Sucker
Sucker
Punch.
Punch,
For you,
Sucker Punch
yeah.
game.
Yeah.
And see, for me, I actually don't really care, and that's I don't
It's
know
just
why.
so unique. It looks like it's a huge open world, and the combat looks like a lot of fun, and in this feudal Japanese setting. I can't think of another game that fits those.
What was
I'm really excited about it.
what about Sekiro Ghosts of
That looks way more actiony.
Yeah.
This looks much more
Stealthy.
grounded. Could actually have a very good story to it.
Some of that stuff is fantastical too, whereas Ghost of Tsushima looks like it's. I don't think there's anything fantastical there or
No, more
magic spells
grounded.
that you're
Yeah.
going to cast or anything like that. I may be making an assumption, but he wasn't throwing around bombs or
No.
there weren't
He wasn't
colors
riding
and
a horse.
auras and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And so I think that looks
But at
good.
the same time, the other game didn't interest me either. So maybe I just don't like samurai lore.
Maybe.
Maybe that's just me.
I like that stuff a lot.
But I mean, that's everybody's their own thing. Anything else with that? It had a different art style, that's for sure.
We were having weird stream problems. I'm going to have to rewatch that trailer because I think that game looks really good, and we were just kind of on a
I just noticed
compressed.
me pointing a minute ago.
Okay.
At it. I was like,
It
that
looked way better.
looked way better.
Okay.
We had some compression issues, that's for sure.
Okay.
So I think that was it looked better.
Okay.
In that situation. So then we got into I think the weirdest announcement, which was Control / Quantum Break 2. What the fuck was that? And now it's Microsoft did whatever, they didn't want to pay us or whatever, so we'll take this Quantum Break game and I guess make it for...
Sure, I didn't
what
like
the hell
Quantum
was...
Break, so...
It was...
More power to you, I guess, but...
Yeah, and people were like, oh yeah, like that looks pretty cool. Like, did you not play Quantum Break? Because that's Quantum Break. Like that. I mean, as soon as they showed it, we were like, that's Quantum Break. Like, why are they showing this? And it was like, oh, it was Remedy. Like, yeah. So, yeah, that's just I'm interested in what the hell how they're gonna spin this. And
Jason's not.
He's like, you didn't even play Quantum Break, did you?
Good man.
No.
Good man.
No.
I like Alan Wake a lot. But it's just why would they go and make another one?
Yeah,
but it's not Quantum Break.
But fuck you! It looks like Alan Wake and Quantum Break like had a baby.
Yeah,
I don't even think Alan Wake is part of that. I think it all looks like Quantum Break.
We didn't even. All of us knew who it was sarcastically before we saw the Remedy logo.
Yeah,
like. Do something else. It's just a curious decision to.
And then why is Sony paying for the exclusivity for it?
Well,
when it
didn't say exclusive.
Are they?
That's true. It did not say exclusive, but boy, did that! It just seems like an odd switch of.
They didn't. That's the other thing Sony didn't do very well with their conferences. They didn't have any like, hey, this is an exclusive. Hey, this is timed. This is console exclusive. They didn't have any of that. It was just kind of here's some trailers.
Even at that, there was maybe 2 things that had a date on it.
Right.
And speaking of things with a date on it, Resident Evil 2.
That's the game of the show for me. I'm super excited.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like it's a full, like, super up-res, like, oh my god, this is the greatest looking thing ever, but I'm still happy it's a thing.
looks like whatever they used to make RE7, they're using to make it.
Yeah. Well, but it's still third person, though.
We can make that assumption, but who knows for sure.
Leon was walking up. They showed Leon walking up in that weird sequence. It looked like a third person.
We can make that assumption, but who knows?
It's also, I mean, the fact that they showed mostly cinematics on a game that's coming out January 25th is odd too.
I wonder if we'll see more of that at like either the PlayStation Experience or the.
That's true. Yeah.
What's the other one? The Paris Games Week or whatever.
Yeah. When is Paris Games?
I don't remember. They're both in the fall, I think.
They're in the fall. Okay.
It's weird that they've decided that they were finally going to remake this one after remaking 1.
What I really wish they would do is remake
ago.
3, because that's the only one I haven't played.
Oh, really?
Yeah. See, no, I actually have never played. I've never played all the way through 2.
Okay.
I had a weird glitch. I played one of the GameCube re-releases, and it glitched out on my save, and I got stuck in this room, and I should say glitched out. I think I fucked myself in a room, and I could never get out of it. Like, I didn't have enough ammo, and I didn't make multiple saves.
I only did 1 route, so I kind of finished it, I guess. It's the same way you finished Nier, I finished Resident Evil 2.
I played Resident Evil 2 several times in a row with both characters.
So
I'm excited.
Yeah, I'm curious if where this is and if we'll have a delay. But this follows their January releases.
Capcom loves January.
They do love January releases. I'm just more sad that it's right at the same time Kingdom Hearts 3. But that's
everything else.
Then we had a moment with Trover Saves the Universe.
Jason and I literally both just looked at each other and stared into each other's eyes for several seconds and then looked away. Neither of us needed to say anything about how we felt about that game.
They made it a point to be like, I'm this bathtub guy. I'm from Rick and Morty. Like, no, you're not. And I like Rick and Morty, but good God, can we stop?
Yeah.
Can we just stop?
Yeah.
Yep.
This is everyone's fault.
It is. It's everyone's fault. Then we got a Pirates of the Caribbean Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, which at this point I have seen probably 8 Kingdom Hearts 3 trailers in the last 2 days. Right. So that game's coming out. Boy, they pushed the shit out of that.
Yeah. They wanted to make sure that it played at every press conference. We might see another one tomorrow at Nintendo.
Because they have not said it's coming to Switch. So look out tomorrow for that same blue lettering to start your trailer with. And
hey, it wouldn't be Square without like some kind of crazy marketing campaign, right?
yeah, that's for sure.
They're gonna have murals painted in downtown Los Angeles and do it live in front of an audience, and then do a live orchestra concert. And
I would go to a live Square concert. Like, there's a lot of good Square classical music out there. Yeah. Like, I'd do that. Yeah. Didn't they actually did that a couple times? I think.
Yeah, these are things that they have done.
Yeah, these are things they've done before. Yeah, like I would seriously think about going to like a Philharmonic concert of oh god, Nobuo Uematsu. Is that? Yeah, I think it was their big composer. Yeah, I probably butchered that name, but that's fine.
Nobuo Uematsu, I think.
Uematsu, yeah. Oh god, and then now I'm selling my PS4 Pro to Caleb and getting a Kingdom Hearts 3.
I think I've reconsidered. I think I looked at my setup at home and I'm like, it's gonna be a lot of work to change all of this. So I think I'm sticking with my 1080p stuff.
Oh boo. I'll figure out something with my Pro.
I'll get a Scarlet.
Yeah, I know, right? Jeez.
Yeah.
Well, I don't even know where to start with Death Stranding.
So, okay.
Something was we feel like that the black portions of that trailer with the text, something was wrong with
I think
that file.
Yeah,
like the file that was supposed to
be.
Maybe
Kojima brought it with him.
Maybe
he just got off there a couple hours ago, and it was screwed
so sorry.
Please understand.
They're just supposed to be this weird glitchy thing. I don't know. I guess you're just a Sherpa.
A really nice looking Sherpa game.
So the thing that struck me is like, the very little bit of gameplay that they actually showed was either hauling stuff around or avoiding those monsters. And neither of those looked fun at all.
Not at all.
So I'm still really curious about this, and I'll play it. It's Kojima. I have to play this. But that didn't do anything to sell me on like what this game actually is. And that's what I was hoping today would kind of answer.
From a gameplay perspective.
Yeah.
As a Muse fan, did you, when he took the headphone jack and plugged it into the baby, did you start singing, "My plug-in baby"?
No. But, yeah, sure. When you plug in a baby, yeah.
I mean, that was really odd, but I don't know why I started. I was half confused at the time.
I wish it would have played in the background. That would have been awesome.
Like, it just made no sense, and then this stupid little fan thing pops up out of his thing,
we could try all night.
I don't want to,
and then I don't want to either. Other than we can talk about the things we know. Large, grand vistas.
Yes.
And it looks like he's climbing kind of like Zelda style on some of them. And he's carrying around this huge box. And then sometimes there are little like elevated carts behind him, like little hoverboard carts behind him. And then there's those things. So I don't like the things that he's trying to stealth by that have handprints on the ground.
Yeah.
Who knows what the actual gameplay elements are like?
Right.
No idea.
Could be. I don't know.
If it's Kojima, like, it literally could be anything. It could be that. That could be all of the gameplay.
Here's my prediction for Death Stranding, is we don't see it at all next year at E3, and it keeps getting pushed back.
That's a very Kojima move. Yep.
That's my assumption. Because
the grass blades don't move individually enough. We need to redo this.
I don't even think it's that ridiculous, but somebody along the way is going to have to tell him, like, if it's not fun, like, they're going to have to fix that.
Yeah.
Because this is his first legacy product away from Konami. And if I were him, I really would not want to screw up the core gameplay loop of this. Because you can say whatever you want about Metal Gear Solid's story. Is it 5? I'm talking about V, whatever you want to call it. You can talk about how crazy it is and how many times you thought it was over and the missing stuff at the end or what your interpretation of this is. But that game is just straight fun to play. Mm-hmm. Like, straight up awesome to play without any of the story stuff. Mm-hmm. So...
Yeah.
He's going to need to do that again.
Mm.
Or else people are going to be like, man, you remember when he got loose and totally fucked up? Like, I don't think he wants to do
Again,
that.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, too, and just say the game's nowhere near being ready to show, so he showed what he had. But who knows?
And it's literally just wandering around with shit on your back, because there was all kinds of random stuff that was on his back.
Yeah.
Or he just doesn't want to show us.
And that's fine too. If at the same time, like, yeah, they're gonna have to sell that game to a general audience that doesn't know that he's the head of Metal Gear, because there's a good amount of people who don't know who Hideo Kojima is.
Really?
That probably played Metal Gear. Think about, how many copies that Metal Gear sold, and then how many people are going to go, oh yeah, this is like Kojima Productions, the Stranding thing's the guy who made Metal Gear. I don't know if there's as many people out there. Like,
he did do a really good job, at least in 5, well, in all of his games really, of planting his name all over it. But
right, but
who knows if an American audience is going to remember a Japanese name?
They're going to.
I have trouble remembering them of the individual Japanese names sometimes. So a person that's peripheral to the industry.
I've known his name since he tried to tell me that my video output was the Hideo output or input.
That's true.
That's when I will never forget his name now.
I'm just thinking that when that game comes out, it's going to have to be from the creator of Metal Gear Solid.
Well, just literally just a couple minutes ago, Logan and I were having trouble with Uematsu.
Nobuo Uematsu. And it's like
and we've played how many games with his music in them? So I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. So yeah, that's Stranding, whatever that ends up being, I guess. And then I guess we got an announcement for Nioh 2.
Sure. Okay. I didn't like Nioh.
I never played it.
I watched you play it. We did a video for the channel.
I think my problem was that there were too long of runs in between checkpoints. And it's one of those games where if you die, you start at the last checkpoint. And everything respawns.
I remember when we stopped the video, I think he kind of went up against a wall.
Yeah.
And it was like, this is...
I was like, I don't know if I want to do that one again. Like, I just struggled for 15 minutes to get there, and then I died.
Mm-hmm.
So... As opposed to the Souls games or Bloodborne, where there's usually, like, a good shortcut to unlock, or, like, the run isn't that long, or you can just run past enemies and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who knew it was successful enough to make another one?
Yeah, I know. I was
good for those guys.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. And then lastly, we have Spiderman, a game that's actually coming out this year, September something. I don't remember the date now. The game still looks good.
Yeah.
I think Caleb, you said it was basically like, oh yeah, they replicated the Arkham City.
Right, yeah,
So, like,
it's just like
let all the bad guys out.
Yeah, all the bad guys are out at the same time, and that's a good. I like that narrative device where if it's just like, hey, there's these 5 villains, wrecking havoc. Go to
these sections of the city.
Yeah, go to these sections of the city and figure it out. Do damage control on this, like bounce around, because that's exactly what Arkham City was. They kind of guided you down that path, but it was. Right. More like, okay, Penguin's doing this, and Two-Face is doing that, and, maybe if you go here first because this is the impending one, and...
Yeah, there was, like, certain areas of the city that just somehow were locked away until a certain other thing in the city was done, and, and that's, I bet, like, Electro is going to be the last one, because his whole area is going to be covered by an electric force field, that the only way to get to it is to, like, kill Rhino, and you've got to get his suit or something to break through the barrier. Sure, it's a game trope, but... it works, and that game looks like it's going to be pretty fun, and I'm interested to see how all of the swinging and stuff flows, and the way that they do the ins and outs of that camera view of the combat too it's interesting, and I think the other thing I said was, boy, I hope there's a lot of favorable checkpoints based on how much traversal you're doing in some of those sequences. Right. Like, oh god, like if you could lose 5-10 minutes of time just.
I think this is another one of those games where they have the chance to do some new stuff. If they figure out a way to do environmental stuff that's not QTEs, I wonder if there's an opportunity to kind of breathe new life into what is otherwise just a bunch of series of button presses. Maybe we'll see. Not just regular combat, but those like take you out of the combat vignette stuff where he's running up the wall and he's bouncing around like we were talking about. Like, if that's more dynamic, like I keep coming back to the original trailer where he goes to the bus. And like there was a big argument whether that was actual gameplay or if it was pre-rendered, and like
Right.
I don't know how much of that stuff can happen on the fly, and if they figure out how to make that like you die and it happens a totally different way and you go through a bus one way, like that could be unique, could be neat.
Well,
And that was it, right?
That was the end of Sony's conference. I mean, I think what they did was okay. My biggest issues were probably just not, and maybe not having any dates or time frames on any of this stuff is okay. Because I guess, I was more surprised last year when kind of God of War was like, oh yeah, and by the way, this is happening very soon. I'm like, oh, okay, great. But we're now going to be on, this is Death Stranding's third year.
Spider-Man's third year.
Spider-Man's third year. Days Gone's third year. This is Last of Us 2. This is 2 years for Last of Us 2?
I think.
I believe.
It might have done... Was last year the one where they did, like, they just had, like, the Ellie playing the guitar?
That was
just last year?
Yeah, that was last year. So nothing exciting. I mean, it's Last of Us 2 might be farther away than the rest of them. And, everything else, I don't know where any of that... I mean...
Yeah.
I guess, I look at, their big things that they pushed 4 years ago when they took their victory lap conference and they were like, Shenmue 3, yeah, Final Fantasy 7, yeah, like, we're awesome. Look at all this
Last
cool shit we're
Guardian
doing.
out.
Yeah, like, and Last Guardian's actually coming out this year, and that game was just okay.
Yeah.
Like, they went on that big victory lap, and the stuff that they touted in that victory lap still aren't out.
Yeah.
And I mean, Final Fantasy, sure, that's not their fault. I don't know how much money that Sony put behind it, if any. Shenmue, I think they put some money behind, but at the same time, if you were starting that game from scratch that night, I'll give you that.
Right.
Like, that's like, if it was just, we'll do Shenmue 3 if we get some money for it.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Like, that's real early on, but, since we're probably, I'm going to assume we're not doing Nintendo.
I don't think our schedules are going to let us do Nintendo.
If we feel compelled to do so, and Nintendo really pulls a Zelda and Mario out of their hat, then maybe.
I think we're going to see Smash and maybe some Metroid and stuff, but that's about it. I kind of hit on Final Fantasy 7 already, but are there any other things that we thought we'd see thought were for sure that we just didn't see?
I just pulled up my predictions and I'm looking and saying, wow, I totally didn't even realize. But like, we didn't see anything from Rocksteady.
Nope. Which
surprised me. There have been rumors of Dead Rising and that didn't show up. Fable. I thought for sure there'd be a Fable announcement. We didn't see anything from that BioShock tease or leak, I guess. We didn't see Watch Dogs 3. We didn't see Splinter Cell, which very much amazes me.
Yeah.
No Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Yeah, no Mortal Kombat. But I did nail the no mention of the Final Fantasy 7 remake. I got that one.
Yeah.
I missed on Watch Dogs. I thought for sure that this was a Watch Dogs year, but turns out it's an Assassin's Creed year again.
it's another one of those.
Yep. So.
I did get Bethesda pretty well. I had Starfield, Doom 2, and Fallout 76 will be disappointing. And I think
for you it is.
For
I didn't care either way. So I don't know. Just interesting.
I had Cuphead content.
Yeah, I don't know if I was
Resident Evil 2 remake. I had that in there too. So a lot of bad predictions, but a couple. I'm gonna point out the ones that I did make, so that I feel better about myself.
Good man.
Okay.
Good man.
Yeah, I don't know if I didn't really hit on very many of mine.
So real quick, what's coming out this year? Assassin's Creed.
We have Assassin's Creed, Spider-Man.
Just Cause 4.
Hang on, let me go through them in order. So
okay. Oh yeah. Shadow Tomb Raider.
I'll start with the Life is Strange thing.
Okay,
At the end of June. Then the next thing really isn't until Madden's out in August.
Yeah, whatever.
Wow.
And then September is a good month though.
Yeah.
Dragon Quest, Spider-Man, Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the Spyro remake. October is Forza Horizon, Assassin's Creed, Battlefield, Red Dead.
Call of Duty. Or is that November?
I didn't even put Call of Duty on here.
That's fair. That's completely fair.
And then November, Hitman 2, Fallout 76.
Oh, that's right.
And that Pokemon thing.
Forgot about Hitman 2.
Yeah, Hitman.
All right, that could save part of my November.
And then December, Just Cause.
Sure. Okay.
And we still know...
Few things to play then.
Yeah. We know we're getting...
So we know what our top 2 games of the year are already, so that's good to know.
Yeah, man, wow.
Metal Wolf Chaos will be somewhere in there as well. So, to keep an eye out for that.
Does that technically count for a game of the year if it's a port of a game that happened in 2005?
I don't know.
As long as Shadow of the Colossus
I don't think
counts.
we're going to have to discuss that.
Yeah,
But
Shadow of the Colossus may have to count this year just to round out a top 10.
I don't...
I remember we were...
there's enough, probably.
Yeah, we were talking about A Way Out being like, man, that could be like a number 10 game.
It might be like a number 5.
It might. It's looking more like a number 6 game at this point. Like, boy...
Who knows? Maybe Goose Game will come out. Maybe some of this indie stuff will hit and we'll fall in love with it. I don't know.
Sure. I feel like
Or maybe at one of these Sony events they'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, Ghost of Tsushima is out in November or whatever.
I would really think that they would have done that at a time.
You'd think, but I'm just saying, there's possibilities.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be all doom and gloom yet.
I wish Doom and Gloom was out. they should just, man. They should call that the third one just Doom and Gloom. Dun, 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 dun.
Doesn't look like we've had a Goose Game update in a while.
No, I've been keeping tabs on it.
Yeah.
We've all been keeping tabs
looked
on that.
Yeah.
They said 2018 though, but you know what? There's been a lot of games that said 2018 that didn't quite meet that time frame. So. You know, the other random thing that was supposed to come out this year too was the new Toe Jam and Earl game.
Yeah,
I can't. That's not going to be on a stage thing. So
it slipped from last year too.
Right. So
we'll see.
And I always have to say I was a Kickstarter backer on that, so that's why I talked about it.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
No, but I don't want to play it. Would be a reason. So. All right. Well, that was E3 until Nintendo, I guess.
Yeah.
So we'll see what we have to say
Maybe
tomorrow.
Nintendo will just blow us out of the water.
And like actually have things come out in 2018.
That'd be cool.
Otherwise, I think you're right. #2019.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
All right. See ya.